Good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson, with some great breaking news. So this morning, I got a text from Adam Johnson. That's right, this Adam Johnson, the Lectern guy. Nancy Pelosi was his muse. The Lectern was his story, folks. And he simply took a picture of it, waved to the cameras with a cheeky smile. For that, he got 75 days of incarceration and a $5,000 fine. Now, Patrick Scruggs, the man who prosecuted Adam Johnson, just got told by the judge that his stand your ground defense would not work. See, because Patrick Scruggs has been caught on video, allegedly, stabbing someone. It's on video, but it is allegedly, folks. Not only did he stab someone, he stabbed the window. He went back to stab the guy again, and he went with a defense, I'm not kidding you, of self-defense. Stand your ground in the state of Florida. That was what Patrick Scruggs had to say. That's right, this Patrick Scruggs in his mugshot, because he was arrested after the incident. But he tried this defense, and it did not work. So I'm going to share with you Adam Johnson's video when he got the news. But please do remember to subscribe to the channel, and remember to check out mypillow.com/lumberjack for great savings.
Outside the Pinellas County Courthouse, where my former federal prosecutor just heard from his judge that he did not, in fact, step out of his vehicle, approach another vehicle, break the window, stab a motorist on video in front of multiple witnesses in self-defense. Go figure. They set a trial date where he will be in front of a jury of his peers for September 9th through 11th. Justice is getting done in the state of Florida. Prosecution is doing a damn good job doing what they're supposed to do. So thanks, guys. Keep it up.
So here's the video of Patrick Scruggs going ham on the car, okay? And the person inside of it with a pocket knife. Now, I've blurred this image intentionally so it doesn't show too much detail to abide by YouTube policies. But the bottom line is, he is actually stabbing the man with a pocket knife. So I'm going to pull out of Tampa Bay Times, St. Petersburg, Florida. Ex-prosecutor accused in Howard Franklin stabbing takes stand to claim self-defense. This is wild. He's claiming self-defense. He literally went, well, here, I'll read on. A former federal prosecutor is trying to make the case to a Pinellas judge that he acted in self-defense when he stabbed another driver after a traffic crash on the Howard Franklin Bridge. Patrick Scruggs smashed the man's window and stabbed him about 7 times in the arm because he feared for his life. He testified last week during a 2-day hearing that ended Monday. Witnesses, too, feared for their lives, but they recall being more terrified of the man wielding a knife and stained with blood than the driver accused of causing the crash. One witness said Scruggs came after him with the knife before plunging it into the victim. 2 others said Scruggs walked away, then returned to the car and began stabbing the man a second time. Scruggs denies that. I realized something was wrong, and my first thought was, I just needed to figure out what's going on, Scruggs said. So I want you to think about it. He's trying to use stand your ground, which is like if you're in your home, you know, and somebody's attacking you, you can, okay, this is just the craziest thing I've ever heard. Or if you're in your car, right, and you can stand your ground. He is literally the aggressor in the situation. You guys get that, right? I mean, so there's this accident. He comes out wielding a knife, smashes the guy's window, and then starts stabbing him. This is crazy. He said, I need to stop this driver, what's ever going on. And that's when I grabbed the pocket knife, because the first thing I could think of, that was the first thing I could think of in the panic of the moment. The incident occurred on September 26, 2023, when Blake Sharp stopped his Lexus in traffic and slumped over into the passenger seat. Another driver, Ahmed Gahaf, saw him and pulled over to try to help, Gahaf testified Friday. Sharp's hands were trembling when he seemed to be impaired. Both Gahaf and Scruggs testified. So the man was impaired. He had an accident. Scruggs comes after him with a knife, automatically assuming that somehow he's a target. Now, I want to ask you a question. Do you think that Patrick Scruggs terrified more people that day on the highway, or Adam Johnson terrified more people by holding a lectern and doing a cheeky wave and smile? So I'm going to go back to the news report here so you can see some of the testimony in the courtroom.
Good evening, Keith. Well, the question for the judge in this case is, did this former federal prosecutor have a legitimate fear for his life on the day that he stabbed an unarmed man on the Howard Franklin Bridge, or was this a case of road rage?
So what do you think, folks? Road rage or self-defense? I mean, leaving your vehicle to go break the other car's window and then stab it, is that road rage or self-defense? You know what? We have to say allegedly stabbed, right? Because you're guilty, or you're innocent until proven guilty. Interestingly enough, the news media surrounding Adam Johnson has always said that he has stolen a lectern. Not allegedly stolen a Lectern, which he didn't even steal because it never left the Capitol.
Scruggs testified he stabbed the man after his car was hit.
He hit my car and it was really jarring.
Jarring? You want to know what's jarring? Having your windows smashed after you have a medical incident and then getting stabbed multiple times. That would be jarring, folks. You know what else would be jarring? Walking through a building and getting charged with parading after police open the doors for you, getting charged with trespassing, criminal trespass, and spending 6 months of your life in jail, or facing 1512C3 obstruction charges and getting charged with up to 20 years in jail. That's jarring, folks.
And the next thing I knew, I could hear it sounded like crunching metal and plastic.
Scruggs claims he pulled out his knife to break the man's window to prevent him from driving off and harming others.
I just didn't want him to drive the car anymore. I just wanted, this man was not in any shape to be driving a vehicle.
Well, I do suppose if you stabbed a man in self-defense enough times, he would not be able to drive the car anymore.
Blake Sharp is the man Scruggs stabbed. He says he passed out in his car because of a medical condition.
Right. So I should get stabbed because of that?
Sharp defiantly pushed back against Scruggs' attorneys as he testified. Scruggs says he stabbed Sharp because he was trapped between cars and in fear of his life.
One thing this video makes abundantly clear is that the other man was in his car. He never left his car. The door wasn't open. He was not posing an immediate threat to Scruggs. That is very evident. The car was stopped. The man was seated in there. There was nothing. There was no immediate threat to Scruggs. I don't even understand why they went after a stand your ground defense when Scruggs was the aggressor by getting out of the car and going over and smashing the window. This is insane. What kind of defense plea is this?
But the cell phone video shows Scruggs walking away. Then he comes back to stab Sharp again. The state says Scruggs had no reason to stab Sharp.
Did he have a weapon in his hand? No, he did not have a weapon in his hand. Did he have a weapon in the car? No, he did not have a weapon in the car. He had his tools.
Again, a man sitting in his car with no weapons, not out of his car, not making any aggressive moves. He apparently had a medical condition. How did Scruggs and his attorneys think a stand your ground plea was the thing to do here? Obviously, the judge didn't buy it, and now the case is moving forward.
Well, Scruggs is facing charges of aggravated assault or aggravated battery. If the judge allows the stand your ground defense, he could walk away with no charges at all.
Well, folks, fortunately, the stand your ground defense didn't work, and Patrick Scruggs is going to trial. I'm going to have Adam Johnson on the show at high noon Central Standard Time today for an interview, so you guys need to come check it out. Adam's always a great interview. He's very witty, very sarcastic, and a lot of fun, like this post here on X. On my way to the courthouse this morning to see if the judge is going to throw out the case. If he doesn't, Patrick Scruggs is going to trial. And here is the Barbie self-defense inflictor. He's got his law degree. He's got his knife and his car. Yes, and that is your friend and mine, Patrick Scruggs, folks. So it's going to be a fun interview. Hope to see you there. And please go check out my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack, or call the 800 number at 1-800-568-2865. Folks, Giza sheets right now for $49.98. Any color, any size. It's the best deal you'll ever see on Giza sheets. They are the best sheets known to man. They are the sheets that Donald Trump uses, and it is his favorite MyPillow product. We'll see you on the next episode, folks. Remember to subscribe if you're new and smash that like on the way out. Peace out.